This is showtime. This is show now.
Cool.
Show now, showtime. Cool. Showtime now.
Okay, cool.
Okay, we're good there. All right, here we go. It begins. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, everybody. I'm here in my room again. Just sitting here, doing nothing. I ain't going to do nothing. I'm going to sit here and sit here. Bye.
All right, you've had your little joke. Now tell us about it.
Where did you get that haircut? In the Army? This is the morning stream.
Guten Tagen, everybody. Welcome back to the morning stream. It is October 1st, 2020. Brand new month, the month of October. That's right. Fall is here. Halloween's right up your bum. We're ready to roll. Let's go. I'm Scott Johnson. That's Brian Ibbett. Hi, Brian.
Your
Good morning.
bum with Halloween.
That's right. Put that jack-o'-lantern where the sun don't shine. Get the candy out. What else you doing for Halloween? You got the candy.
Crazy neighbor says that Halloween's canceled. And he said it seriously. He totally believes that Halloween is canceled.
Really? That's surprising.
Yeah, I think it just changes. I think it's, we just have a slightly different Halloween, but I don't think it's canceled. I think, it's still
celebrating your own way. Halloween. It's fine. Yeah. Dress up, have a little, I don't know what you do. Do those things.
We're gonna, I was thinking about the PVC pipe thing, and I've talked about it a couple times on the show. But what about a candy pult? Right, like it's a catapult that fires candy out to the sidewalk.
Okay, I'm in. That doesn't seem dangerous or liable at all. Doesn't seem like
no, not at all. Well, I mean, we can't all be full-size bars like some people.
Hey,
you get hit with a fun size, it's barely going to leave a mark.
Yeah, that's a good point. You get the little ones are no big deal. But I mean, look, I'm not saying you shouldn't do it. I'm saying you should do it, and then you should document it on film, so that anything you film will be used against you in a court of law. That's what'll happen there.
A kit catapult. Oh, I just invented it. It's going to be called a kit catapult, and it's only going to serve fun-sized Kit Kats.
Yep. And you could have a little machine called the Smarty Farty, which would make a little fart sound and shoot Smarties at kids.
Sure.
And not Canadian Smarties, okay? We know you guys got some weird other thing called Smarties. We're not talking about
their
those.
Smarties are M&Ms.
Oh, that's true, aren't they? Basically, right? They're chocolate with...
chocolate with a candy shell.
Yeah.
I mean, they have M&Ms as well, but I think their Smarties are M&Ms. Our Smarties are just sugar made into brightly colored discs.
Yeah, they're basically pills of sugar.
Yeah,
and
but the blue ones are the best.
Don't snort them, is all I want to put out there. I had a friend. I had a friend who crushed them up and snorted them in high school. I think I've talked about this. And he would snort them.
Yeah.
And he's all messed up now. His nasal stuff is all jacked. But I also think he did cocaine in the 90s.
Oh. His nasal stuff is all jacked up. But I also think he did cocaine.
Yeah,
okay, well.
I think there was a whole drug problem in general, and it started.
Yeah, I think we may have identified the actual source of the problem.
They say snorting crushed up Smarties is the gateway drug to harder stuff. So.
It is, right, exactly. Once you move from the pink Smarties, it's like, I need a bigger rush. I guess Coke.
This is the same.
Or did he stop at Mentos first? And
that's a good idea. A Mentos and then
Necco Wafers.
Chase it down with a Diet Coke, see what happens. Oh, Necco Wafers, dude. Jeez. Did you have to bring those up? The worst candy ever created by man.
Oh, okay. Wait. Worse. I mean, they're very close to the bottom, but you've got those peanut butter chews that are wrapped in either black or dark orange wax paper.
Those are pretty bad.
Which is worse, Necco Wafers or those peanut butter chews?
Well, there's a cleanliness to the Necco wafer, right? It's almost like future food, something they might hand out in Logan's Run or something as a treat.
Yeah.
But they're really boring.
Like something that's supposed to be kind of good for you. Like it's made from people.
Yeah.
Yeah. Circus Peanuts. So we're getting a lot of talk about Circus Peanuts in the chat room too. Circus Peanuts.
I don't know. I could sometimes do a Circus Peanut. It's okay. They're not that bad. And but whoever put Bit of Honey in there, you're wrong. Those are good.
Bit of Honey was fine until I get fillings. Now it's
it's
just constant fear.
Yeah, you're playing with fire if you chew those when you got
Totally.
like a crown or a filling of any kind, you're screwed.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh,
Interesting.
Jake says he likes Necco Wafers. Also, you're spelling it wrong. But either way, we're canceling your account. You've been banned from the chat. You're not allowed here anymore. And Circus Peanuts are fine.
You can leave out. So what we'll do is we'll leave out for the trick or treaters this year. We'll leave out bags of Necco Wafers, those peanut butter chews, and Circus Peanuts, and just say a little sign that says "Take one."
Yeah.
No, you must take one.
Or more, please.
We'll just see what happens if we have 3 full bags at the end of the night.
No one sent candy corn here. Surprised. Candy corn.
You know what? I like candy corn, and shoot me, but I do like candy corn.
Too.
I like the traditional candy corn, not the weird offshoots that they seem to bring out every year. That's like
those are no good.
Pumpkin spice candy corn and
the chocolate ones are bad, man.
They're really bad. Oh, they taste like it's like the worst, fakest chocolate flavor ever.
Yeah, but you get the white tip, the medium orange middle, or no, yellow middle, bottom orange. No, what's the pattern?
Oh, it's like a trivia question already, Scott.
Here, let me figure.
I believe it's orange, yellow, white, starting at the bottom. Big white, orange butt, yellow midsection, white tip.
You're right. So it goes. It's a gradient from dark to light.
It is a gradient. Yes. Okay. It's exactly.
This has got to be the most intense.
Speaking
candy corn
of pumpkin
ever.
spice, Tina's parents get milk from a milk truck, and one of the things that they started inexplicably offering in September is eggnog. Because who doesn't think eggnog when school's starting back up?
Sure, it's the time for eggnog. Everyone celebrate.
Right. So, but they have pumpkin spice eggnog, and it's sugar-free pumpkin spice eggnog. And she's like, "Do you want me to order some?" And I'm like, "Oh yeah, sure, why not?" So we bought a bottle of it. Here's the cool thing.
Yeah.
This is Tina hates pumpkin spice. She hates pumpkin. She's not a pumpkin fan. She likes. There were like pumpkin. There was a pumpkin cake that she liked once, and that's about it. But pumpkin pie is the devil to her.
Yeah.
She won't do pumpkin spice anything. So I walk up to the kitchen. I open the fridge. I take out the plastic bottle of pumpkin spice eggnog, screw off the top, and just drinking right from the bottle. I don't have to pour that stuff in a glass. It's all mine.
Did you feel like you needed to hide from your mom after or anything like that?
Kind of, yeah.
Because I would. My mom would kill me if she saw me do that. Oh, that's awesome.
Listen, if I'm the only one in the house that's drinking it, then
is it good? Like, would you rate it highly?
It is good. It's I'd say flavor-wise, it's the sugar-free, you've always got that kind of twinge of like saccharin or sweet and low or whatever the flavor is. But I'd say the flavor is like 90% eggnog, 10% pumpkin spice. It's a very faint pumpkin spice.
That's how I would like it. I would like it mild, not overwhelming.
Yeah. But I have been trying it as creamer because it acts as both a creamer and a sweetener in my coffee.
Oh, very nice. Yeah.
Not this is just regular, but
yeah. No, Brian, don't roll like that. Oh, wait, today it's not in your little heat cup thing.
It's not in the Ember mug because I realized I went out and got Starbucks this morning for Tina and I and finished it up. And I'm like, I think I need another cup of coffee, but I don't want to do a whole French press of the Kahawa coffee.
Yeah, it's a lot of work.
As good as that would be. It is a lot of work. So I'm like, I'll just make a little, single cup of the Dewey Egberts.
There you go. Dewey Egberts.
Which is just fine.
Always
just fine with the Dewey Egberts.
Okay, I have a thing to share with you that you hopefully can help me understand. Well, it's not hard to understand. My dogs are dumb. So
okay.
We used to be a 2-dog household, and then we became a 3-dog household briefly, and then Nick took Boomer, and now we're a 2-dog household again. So we got Ellen Ripley, the new puppy dog, the Weimaraner, who's going to get huge one day, and she's doing great. She's awesome. Everyone loves her. She's great.
Cool. It's like
very
a revolving door of dogs in your house, isn't it?
You take her outside, she pees immediately. You take her in, you feed her. You take her outside, she poops immediately. You're done. She's so easy that way. Rainer is not. She's a nervous Nilly and has a bunch of like OCD things she has to do before she can even pee. She's just so weird. Anyway, whatever. These 2 dogs, they've been great. They're getting along. It's all good in the hood, except here's this thing. It used to be when a siren would come, like a ambulance or fire. What's that called? Fire truck.
Mm-hmm.
They'll come down the road and they'll brrr, and Rainer will every time go boo. She'll just go into howl mode every time.
Yeah.
Boomer never did. She didn't bother. It didn't bother her at all. The new dog doesn't care about the siren. It cares about what Rainer's doing. So this is what happens now. The siren will happen. It'll be a ways off. Rainer will go, brrr, and then the other dog will join in and go, brrr, and then the siren's long gone. Like it's driven 400 billion miles away. Nobody can hear it anymore. But the dogs are now in this row your boat pattern.
Oh, really? So it's
they're setting each
still
other off.
Cycles back and forth between the two of them now?
Yeah. So now they got this
worst game of telephone ever.
Yes.
Basically.
Yes. It's like a little vocal baton being thrown between these two dogs. So I recorded it.
Good.
This is actually on Carter's phone, but I want you to hear this so you can see what I'm talking about. This is, by the way, all of what you're about to hear is after the siren is gone. The cop is way gone. No more cops. She can't hear it anymore. This is what we hear. It goes like this until you stop them. They think that they just keep doing it
until you bump the turntable. This is basically what.
Yes.
Oh, that's fantastic.
It's so annoying because they're so stupid.
I hope it never, like a fire truck never goes by when you guys aren't home, because they'll be tuckered out by the time you get home from home.
Yeah, I mean, that's the thing I would have done different when this got recorded, is if I had thought about it. I'm like, oh, let's test it and see how long they actually go. Because most of the time they get interrupted, and that's why they stop. That's what happened here. We walked out there, and then they saw us and went, oh, okay, time to stop being idiots. But they're just so stupid. Oh, my gosh, they're so dumb. But they're great. Yeah. They're great. I love my dogs. Don't get me wrong.
Now you're going to get people driving by your house and just playing siren noises because, people know where you live. They're just going to like, just to see if they can get them started.
I mean, we have a couple of, we have some listeners nearby. They could totally take advantage of this if they want to.
Hammond, get on this, please.
Yeah, Hammond. Hammond, you know what's up. All right. We're gonna do what we do normally we do it last week, but it's we pushed it because we needed to, and now we're gonna have an end of month moment with Gidget. Here's the problem. There she is. Okay, I couldn't find her.
Here's the problem. There she is. I don't think that's what you meant, but I love it.
Nope. I meant to say, here's the problem. I can't find her, but then I did, and all is well now. All right, we're going to do this.
Trivial things.
With Gidget Von LaRue all the way from down under.
Look at that.
She's wearing a
redhead
wig
today.
Yeah, look at that. That's cool. What's that about? I like it.
I bought this cheap wig from some local shop, and it was just horrendous. And this is what it previously looked like.
Yeah.
By the way, hang on.
Oh, was that what it was supposed to be?
You kind of took some scissors to it.
Yeah, wow.
I cut the crap out of this because I look like Betty Davis in, I've Gone Completely Mad movie.
Right.
So,
wow.
Yeah. So
I like it. I like it short.
Yeah, it's cool.
Thank you.
You kind of got a one of the women from Bananarama thing going on. Not Shaban, who has like really big hair, but one of the other two.
Yeah, their names we don't know.
I was thinking if it was black, it could be sort of Joan Jett, but
a little
I might
bit.
get a black wig and chop that apart too.
Yeah, I can see Joan
how it
Jett.
goes.
Is it Molly Ringwald? I think she had lighter red hair, right? Molly Ringwald?
Depended on the movie, I think.
Yeah.
I think she went through the Nicole Kidman thing of like light red hair, then dark red hair, then light red hair, then yeah.
Yeah, one of your people, Nicole Kidman. She's from down there, where you're from.
I know.
One of your people.
She's our bitch.
Yeah, she's one of yours. All right. Well,
what do Australians think of Nicole Kidman these days? Because I know there have been actors who've left Australia and gone on to do things, and they're like,
Heaps.
Hogan is probably the big one I'm thinking of, where he's like kind of not welcome back.
Oh, is that true?
No one in Australia is not welcome back.
Yeah.
It's only if they nick off overseas and then dish Australia, and it's like, well, you don't like it, stay where you're gone.
Right.
Okay. Cool.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why the Hemsworths are in good company everywhere they go. They talk very highly of their home, but they're also big stars everywhere else. So good job, Hemsworths.
They're lovely. They keep running into, because I think they have Chris Hemsworth's got a place up in Byron Bay, which is way up on the sort of New South Wales Queensland border, and he keeps running into like news crews that are doing stories on drowned kids and stuff, and he's like in the background like waving and stuff.
Wait a minute, you buried the lead. There's a bunch of drowned kids. That sounds bad. What's going on with the drowning kids? That seems
lifesaver, like like Tom Cruise.
Yeah, does he go to help? Has he saved any kids from drowning? That'd be cool.
Probably not.
He's Thor, you know.
He did announce, I don't know if it was yesterday or today, but he did announce that he's not done with Thor yet. Like Thor: Love and Thunder won't be the last Thor movie.
Oh, yeah, I think he's
Evans,
cool to keep
Evans
going.
can leave whenever he wants, but Hemsworth's in for the long haul.
I think Evans is out. You might get a cameo out of something. Where
I
it's a
thought
prequel.
the last Thor movie I thought was better than the first two.
Oh,
for
yeah,
sure.
combined?
Because
Absolutely.
I think due to the New Zealand director, he just let him. He's a funny guy,
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
you know. So let him be funny. You
Yeah.
know, it was all a
Totally.
bit too intense.
And
the first two.
those Marvel movies work so much better when there's a little bit more humor to them. I mean, Ant-Man's a great example. Thor, Guardians of the Galaxy, great example of it. And you look at some of the dour ones like Thor: Dark World, and
Yeah,
you know,
that's
the
why.
less fun ones there.
What's Deadpool? Is that
Yeah,
What is Deadpool?
yeah? Is that
He's,
Marvel or
Merc
DC?
with a mouth. He's Marvel. Yeah, he's
Marvel.
Marvel, but he's not.
He's dirty Marvel.
He's in that. He's dirty Marvel.
Yeah.
he was part of that whole Fox thing, but now I think he is Marvel proper or Disney proper.
They are,
Yeah.
but whether or not that means we don't know what that means yet, because Disney, you know, they could do it under, they could still do it under a different studio name, kind of like Hulu's the place for their. Hulu's the place where you can go and have some nudity and swears, but on Disney it's like,
we like those.
Yeah, well,
sure.
of course you do.
They're fun.
Speaking of which, today is Trivial Things, which means
Yeah.
we're going to get trivia questions from you about stuff in our sort of nerd house. I have no idea what our topic is today, so I have zero preparation for this. Yeah. So why don't you tell us what it is this week? What are we doing?
Okay. All right. So I think
Nudity
this
and
will be in. Yeah, it's porn.
Oh, great. Perfect.
So I hope you've been up to scratch. No, it is actually it's 80s TV shows.
Oh,
but I
great.
make sure to do American TV shows, not British or Australian or Canadian or, you know, European or Asian.
And this is mostly going to be centered around Love Boat, Fantasy Island, less stuff like, you know, Dukes of Hazzard and Knight Rider and the A-Team stuff I didn't watch. Like, it's mostly going to be the stuff I watched, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's basically all Golden Girls questions.
Oh, good.
Oh, good.
Sorry.
Okay.
All right.
Well,
Yeah.
I watched a lot of Golden Girls.
Thank you for giving this to Scott.
Thank you for being a friend. All right.
Friend.
Yep.
Dun, 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 dun. All right. So Scott won the last round.
Yeah.
So
Hiding the
guess
chat
it's
room right
Brian's
now.
time.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. Hi,
hi,
chat
Jenna,
rooms.
do a
Goodbye,
chat room.
There you go. All right. Chat room's out.
Bye bye.
Okay. All right.
Love you, chat room.
Yep. You're the best.
Yep.
All
Okay.
right,
All right.
Brian,
So Brian, and
Yes.
they're all multiple choice. I'm going to make all the quizzes multiple choice.
Okay.
'cause it's
All right.
more fun for me, more fun for you. Okay. So, all right. Which Friends star acted in a part of the TV show Family Ties? Was it Jennifer Aniston, Matthew Perry, Courtney Cox, or Lisa Kudrow?
This is Courtney Cox. She was a girlfriend of Alex's, I think.
Yep, Lauren Miller, Alex's girlfriend for the last 2 seasons of the series.
Wow. Did not know it. I would have gotten that wrong.
Ooh.
Bam.
Mm-hmm.
All right, you might like this one a bit more, Scott.
All right.
Okay, so number 2 on the TV show Full House. How were Danny and Jesse related? A, they were brother-in-law. B, they were cousins. C, they were work colleagues. Or D, they were not related, just good friends.
Oh, geez. I hated Full House, so this is going to be hard. I'm going to say they were brothers-in-law.
Mm-hmm.
That would be correct.
Oh, okay. Phew. Yeah, that sounded right, because it seemed like somebody was married to somebody's sister, and yeah. And that, and literally that's a family tie. But even though that's not family ties, but you know what I mean? Like it's a family tie that would be.
Yes, literally, it's a family tie, which is another show.
Anyway, all right.
Crazy guys.
Yeah.
Mixing up all
Literally,
your
they
80s
kind of
TV shows.
they kind of made their own little love boat, but
Yeah.
that was a different show.
It was
It
kind of an island.
Would have been
they're gonna have
Three's
fantasies.
Company, but that was a different show.
Yeah.
All right.
All right, Brian's turn.
Yeah, all right, Brian's turn. All right.
Yes.
So, so number 3.
Uh-huh.
I got to move my notebook. Hang on. All right, right. Okay. A Mediterranean sheep herder comes to the United States and lives with his distant cousin in Chicago. Which show was this?
Oh.
Was it Too Close for Comfort, Hello Larry, Highway to Heaven, or Perfect Strangers?
Oh, I like that you throw Hello Larry in there as kind of a fake out because the guy's name was Larry and
Yeah.
Balky. They were perfect strangers, is what they were.
Yeah.
Yes,
They were.
correct.
Easy one. All right.
Yep, it ran for 8 seasons from 1986 to 1993, and yeah, Bronson Pinchot was
Pinchot.
That's Pincho.
Pincho.
That's it?
With a
Yeah, they
lemon,
pronounce it
with
Pincho.
Espresso with a lemon twist.
Yeah, Beverly Hills Cop.
Yep.
All right.
Okay, who's been smoking?
No, but literally me, because there's still smoke in the valley. We're
Yeah,
getting smoke.
exactly. Yeah, it's all second. We're all getting our smoke secondhand.
Yeah, secondhand California
What?
smoke.
Oh, because the bushfires.
Oh, California wildfires. We actually went some Colorado mountain fires too.
Damn.
Yeah, it's messing my
Stuff
throat
driven
up.
over
It's
the
making me super throaty. It's driving me crazy. Anyway,
Oh, that sucks.
yeah.
Or we'll stay safe, everybody.
Yeah, stay safe. All right.
Yeah, we
safe.
had those at the beginning of the year, and they were just an absolute monster, and they were very close to our house too.
Yeah.
All right, so
That's right, I remember
Scott.
that. Yeah.
All right, and remember, if you can't answer, it can go to the other person. All right, Scott. So number 4, Bo and Luke's car, the General Lee, in the Dukes of Hazzard was A 1967 Corvette Stingray, B a 1966 Ford Shelby Mustang, C a 1969 Dodge Charger, or D a 1962 Ford Galaxy 500.
The Charger, I believe.
You are exactly right.
Oh,
Yeah.
Okay. That was a harder
See,
one
we
than
all
I
grew
thought.
up with these TV shows.
Yeah.
I did. I never watched it,
Scott,
but that would have been my
Brian,
guess.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We started getting these TV shows in Australia, so we were familiar with them as well and loved them. Before that, it was all British shows.
Yeah.
And I think the same with Canada as well.
Yeah.
Okay, so Brian, number
Yes.
5, the bar in Cheers was set in which U.S. city?
Oh,
Boston,
jeez.
Massachusetts, Queens, New York, Chicago, Illinois, or Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Really? Now, Brian, take your time, okay? Take
Say,
your
a little
time.
known fact that the actual Cheers bar is a place called the Bull and Finch, and it's located on right across from the park in Boston, Massachusetts.
That would be right.
Yeah.
I
That-
think you knew that before I even said
Yeah,
that.
I think. I knew
was
that after you said the bar. Oh, okay, yeah, probably.
Yeah,
Cheers,
the
Boston.
bar, and you went, yeah, I know that one. Yeah,
That's a
yeah,
simple one.
okay. Scott, number 6, what was George Papard's character name in the A-Team? Was it A, John Templeton Peck, B, Captain Howling Man Murdoch, C, Captain Boscuba Baracus, or D, John Hamilton Smith?
John Hamilton Smith.
That is correct.
Yeah.
Oh, you boys are doing so well. I'm so
Kind
proud
of glad
of you.
I didn't get that one. I knew it wasn't B.A. Baracus, and I knew it wasn't Murdoch.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
That was the
I
that
guess-
was the only one that
actually-
stumped Colonel.
Yeah, I guess I
That
would have.
one.
I would have gotten it by process of elimination.
yeah, the other two were. I didn't know B.A. Baracus. Spell that. How'd
Yeah,
you say the
what was,
Baracus
his, what was
one?
his full name again?
Yeah.
Captain Bosco B.A. Baracus.
Bosco.
Bosco Baracus.
I didn't
Huh.
know
I
that.
think that was Mr. T.
Yeah,
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Baracus. Wasn't that Mr. T? All right, that was good. All right, so
Cool.
far,
All right.
far, no wrong answers.
All right,
We're doing
sweet,
good.
sweet, sweet. You're doing
Yeah.
so well.
Yeah.
All right.
Yep.
So, Brian.
Yeah.
All right. How did Detective Lieutenant Michael Arthur Long in the show Knight Rider become Michael Knight? A. He was approached by Flag for secret justice work. B. He crashed his old car, thus inheriting a new name and kit. C. He had a near fatal shot to the face, giving him a new identity. Or D. The Foundation of Law recruited him after serving in the military.
Okay, this sucks because, as Scott knows, and
Yeah.
much of the chat room knows, I never saw an episode of Knight Rider.
Yeah.
All right. Based on the fact that they used Hasselhoff, I'm going to say that disfigurement and facial stuff, getting shot, nearly shot in the face, is probably not it.
Right, so
Flag
he had a
recruiting him seems like something else. Like that's another show that I should be thinking of.
No, it was all the answers are part of the show.
Oh, really? These are all things from the show?
Yeah. I decided to be a bitch regarding that, so I just put all the same.
So really,
things.
I'm just deciding which of these 4 things occurred in the origin, and all these things, the other 3 occurred later on in the show.
Basically.
Go with your instincts.
Yeah. Go with your
Oh
gut.
God.
You had it. You
all
had
right.
it.
Well, okay. No, you did.
Hey, you're not supposed to tell him he had it.
Yeah, don't tell me I had it.
Scott,
Well,
shush.
Flag was the thing that sounded familiar to me, although I thought that was a different show. I'm going to say it's the Flag recruiting him. No, it's the face, shot in the face.
It's the shot
You
in
were
the
right
face.
on there, Brian.
Shot
You
in the
had it.
face,
The
really?
Shot in the
Yeah.
face. Yep.
How did they explain
Right,
with
just say it.
Hasselhoff's
Say it,
good
Scott,
looks
and you
that he
got
got
it.
shot in the face?
Yeah, he got it's a pretty out there idea, right? Like they did it.
Yeah.
I don't think it was ever a good origin story, but yeah, the whole idea was that he got shot in the face and that they gave him his new Hasselhoff face. And part of the deal was he got this car. And also, the reason the face was so well done is because the same people who have all this amazing tech did his face. And
Oh, sure, okay. The
Plus,
people
you
who
had
did the
David
car tech
Hasselhoff's
had,
face.
it's super
people who do
dumb.
car
Face,
tech also
face.
have face tech.
Right. Yeah, you know the old thing about how
Yeah, it's
they...
like I'd like Ford to do my next operation.
Yeah,
It'd be great.
exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not? All
Hyundai,
right.
please
What was
take
that
out my
song
kidney.
he sang on the Berlin Wall in Germany?
Oh, I don't remember what song
When they
it
brought
was.
down the Berlin Wall.
It was
freedom.
I
Yeah.
don't know. The only one I can
Germans
think
love
of
him.
is the get into my car. Not the Billy Ocean get out of my dreams and into my car, but
Was there a get
jump
into
in my car. I want to take you home or something like that.
Really? Ugh.
Yes.
I never bought his
I want to
album.
get drunk and eat a burger on my floor.
Sound like a
Yeah.
Wookiee.
Had my daughter film
Yeah.
it.
That's
What a
the
little
one.
bitch.
He has my he and I
That's
share
your dad.
he and I share
You
a
know,
birthday, so
we've all had our parents do embarrassing
You know
stuff.
what? That's a
but
good point.
why
Exactly.
Why film them doing that stuff?
If a man can't get drunk and eat a burger on his own floor,
Yeah.
what kind of world are we in?
Yeah, he's not at a bar or a restaurant. He's in his own
Right.
bathroom. If he's drunk and eating a burger like a pig, fine.
yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, totally
Anyway,
fine.
I'd leave her out of the wheel.
Totally normal.
Anyway, so Scott stole that.
yeah.
Yes.
He did.
He did. So it's Scott's
This is
turn.
gonna be the pull ahead. Damn it.
This is the moment.
Knight Rider foiled again.
This is the moment.
All right. So number 8. What was Al Bundy's job in Married with Children? Was he A, a sports equipment salesman, a high school football coach, a woman's shoe salesman, or a strip club DJ?
Woman shoe salesman.
Yes.
Okay, because the only reason I knew that is because the others were all ridiculous. even though
course.
that one
Yeah,
is kind
they
of
were all
ridiculous.
too
in itself.
highfalutin
Yeah,
for,
it was
Bundy.
too fancy for Bundy. So yeah, that had to be
Yeah.
it. All right.
And Ed O'Neill was actually a high school football player.
No, that's
Oh, was
cool.
it really? No, I believe
Yep.
it.
He's a big dude.
He's got the face for a high school football player.
First time I
Yeah,
ever
he
saw.
does. Yeah,
First time
he
I ever
does.
saw
It's
Ed
been
O'Neill was
damaged.
in an episode of Miami Vice. He was a
really?
cocaine guy, dealer guy in there. It was good.
Huh.
Anyway, he was very young in that. All right.
And he's
All
still
right.
going. They've stopped Modern Family now, haven't they?
Mm-hmm. Right? I don't
Yeah.
know. Is
Yeah.
it? Okay. Fair enough.
Anyway, no loss. Okay. Number 9.
Yeah.
Bri.
Yeah.
All right. What Hawaiian island did Magnum PI do his private detective
Oh, for
work
Pete's sake.
on? Was it Maui? Hang on, I gotta say them all.
I know,
Um,
say them all.
Maui, Oahu, Lani, or Kauai?
Well, I would assume that the bulk of detective work that he'd need to do would be in the island that has Honolulu on it. So I'm gonna guess Oahu.
You are correct.
Well done. That's where all the crimes happen. All the
I used
crimes
to
in
happen in
stay
Hawaii.
around there. I would stay there with my mum and my late stepfather around in Kahala Hilton, which is really close to where they filmed Magnum.
Hmm.
And
Well,
he also passed up on playing Indiana Jones. So
that's true. To do that,
He also-
he was busy.
Yeah, he also was intended to be Charlton Heston's replacement to head up the NRA, and that kind of fell through.
Oh, I didn't know he was a gun guy.
really,
Yeah.
Yeah. Maybe he decided that that's a shitty job and no one
he,
can have it.
he probably did. He's like, yeah,
Maybe he thought
I
it
don't
was
think I want
probably
that.
Best just to be quiet and just do his job.
He probably said, hey, thank you, Charlton. I know I played a character named Magnum, but that doesn't mean I want to head up the NRA, but thanks.
I want to hold a Magnum.
Right, exactly.
Damn you, dirty PI, he said. And that was it.
Oh.
He killed them all.
All right.
All right.
Scotsmeister.
Yeah.
All right, number 10. Who owns a house in Miami in the show The Golden Girls? Is it Dorothy, played by Beatrice Arthur? Is it Rose, played by Betty White? Is it Sophia, played by Estelle Getty? Or is it Blanche, Rue McClanahan?
It's B. Arthur's character owned the house, I think.
Blah!
Oh,
Oh,
really?
Over to Brian.
Shit.
crap. Well, give me some of this deal that I actually have an idea about.
I was sure
all
it
right,
was
so let's
her.
see. So we've gotten
She's the alpha,
the Arthur
man.
out of the way.
She's the one that I'm the most like.
She's the alpha. So
Don't give any hints. Although knowing that, I'm going to say it's Rue McClanahan.
Gosh dang
That's
it.
correct.
Boo. Boo.
Brian Steele.
All right, that puts us up to equal again. We're
All right,
Brian
you're
does.
equal. Yep,
Yeah.
yep, exactly. Okay. Number 11 for Brian.
Me, yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
All right. Don Johnson played James Sonny Crockett in Miami Vice. Who did Philip Michael Thomas play? Was it Angelo Angel Tubbs, Ricardo Rico Tubbs, Julio Jesus Tubbs, or Filippo Tubbs?
Oh, it's definitely Tubbs. Crockett and Tubbs.
This stuffed up Colonel as well. This one is like,
yeah,
wait, wanna
okay.
try
I'm
enough?
leaning towards Rico Tubbs, but hold on a second. Say their first names again.
all right, Angelo Angel Tubbs,
Yeah.
Ricardo Rico Tubbs,
Mm-hmm.
Julio Jesus Tubbs, or Filippo Tubbs.
I'm just gonna stick with Rico. I think it might be wrong. Rico Tubbs.
You are correct.
Gosh
Okay,
dang
thank
it.
goodness.
Yay!
Damn
I
it.
knew that
I was
one.
like all set to say, oh, he played Tubbs, and then
Yeah.
all four answers ended with Tubbs.
Yeah.
Of course,
that was a
because
pretty
those
good question.
being nasty.
Yeah, that was good.
Yes.
That was
Yeah.
good. No, you took what would have been a super
We did.
simple answer and you made it hard. So good
I
job.
do like that. Yes, well done.
Yeah.
That's it. I like to tease you boys. All right, so number 12. This goes to Scott. All right, who gives Ralph Hinckley, played by William Catt, his superhuman suit in The Greatest American Hero? Is it extraterrestrials, the US government, he found the suit in an LA abandoned science lab, or it was left to him by his superhero parents?
The aliens.
Yeah, see, I knew you guys would know your
So this is
TV shows.
I wouldn't call it a cheat, but it's a little bit of not really a cheat. I had to watch the pilot for this last fall with Tom Merritt for Current Geek, and so it's
Oh, I
sort
didn't
of
know
fresh,
that.
kind of fresh in my head right now. Yeah.
Mhm. Oh well, even that. I mean,
Damn.
it's such an iconic that opening shot in the opening credits with the aliens in front of him, and they take off, and he's got the suit.
I'm walking on
Oh,
air.
there I
Never
never
thought I
thought
could
we'd
be
be
so
George's and
free.
Yeah, you're right, Brian. Brian's
One of
right.
the best 80s theme songs for a TV show.
Oh, it was great.
Ever.
It was great.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was
Forgot his name. Who
Joey
did it, but yeah.
Joey Scarberry, and music written by Mike Post.
Mike Post. That's right.
hmm
He wrote
Oh,
everything
you had
in
to
the
show off,
80s.
didn't you, Brian?
I did. Damn right.
Couldn't just sing it.
No, I
Couldn't just
gotta.
sing it. Just
I
had
have to.
go
I have
into
to
the
get
hole.
those. I have to get
Yeah.
those.
Mike
things
Post
in when I
wrote
can.
everything, though. The entire 80s
He
and
did.
some of the
He
90s
did.
are just Mike Post songs. It's crazy.
Yeah.
That guy.
Yeah.
He had everything everywhere. He's great. Anyway.
Well, that's a great one.
Yeah.
Okay.
He's had more
Scott
posts
won
than,
his-
than a cereal aisle.
That's
Yes,
right.
go ahead, please.
No, you go. That's fine.
It's me.
I've got
It's
all
me.
the time in the world. Okay. All right. So it is Brian, and it is what was the agency name that Maddie, Sybil Shepherd, and David, Bruce Willis,
Boo!
worked for in Moonlighting? Right,
Boo!
hear all of them first.
Oh yes, please give me those choices.
Yeah, the Daylight
Tubbs.
Detective Agency, the Pale Moon Detective Agency, the Die Hard Detective Agency, or the Blue Moon Detective Agency?
Yeah, yippee-ki-yay, it was the Blue Moon Detective Agency.
Yeah.
It
And
was
the Anselmo
indeed.
case was never solved.
I would have
Yeah.
probably gotten that maybe right, but maybe wrong. But Brian was
Oh,
guaranteed
you would
to
have
get
had
that
it.
right.
Yeah.
You would have gone for Die Hard, wouldn't you?
No. I mean, I would
Yeah,
like
I'm pretty
that's
sure he
a
would
big
not
one.
have gone for Die Hard.
No. But Brian loved that show. It's a known fact how much he
Yeah,
loved
actually,
that
I actually
Oh, I
have the
didn't know
DVD
that.
box set of that show.
show. Yeah, he loved it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah, he
All
was
right.
head over heels for that.
Cool.
All right, my turn.
That worked out well. Okay, so Scott, number 14.
Yeah.
What was the first Fox series to win its time slot against the big three networks? Was it Full House, 21 Jump Street, Cheers, or Married with Children?
Well, the only two options are 21 Jump Street and Married with Children because the other two you mentioned are not Fox. So, boy, this is not an easy one.
I didn't know who was going to get this question, so I just threw it in there.
No, that's good. Honestly, it feels like a toss-up. I'll just say, let's see, what would be the most mainstream thing? Probably Married with Children.
Nope.
Ah, shit!
Why wrong as
I
well?
really
Then
could have
I'm
gone either
definitely
way.
going with 21 Jump Street because the other two are
Correct.
ABC and CBS, I think, or
CBS.
ABC and NBC.
Yeah, they might
Correct.
both be
Brian
interesting.
Steele.
Cheers, NBC. Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless your cotton socks. All right, this is the last question. So,
Wait, does that put
It's
Brian
pretty
ahead
close.
one by one? Is Brian
Yep,
up?
I'm ahead by one.
Oh my gosh, this is not going well. All right, go.
Either lock things up or a tie.
All right.
all right, I'll have to count because you've both stolen off each other, and yeah, I think it's nearly about even. All right, so it's the first person in.
No, it's not. I'm ahead by one.
Yeah, but Brian's definitely ahead by one.
Yeah.
Oh, you're so technical.
Yeah.
Okay.
Listen, I got it again. Scott won the last one. I'm not letting this slip by from a.
I'm not letting it
from
fly.
I don't know. I
I'm
think
not
things are
putting up with
roughly
this.
even.
No. Good on you, Brian. All right.
The
number
live judge
15.
says, it looked like probably was a touchdown. I wasn't watching, but that was probably a touchdown. We're gonna give it to them. All right, go ahead.
All right, first in. In 1987, the TV series Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, who was Splinter banished from? The Hand Clan, the Foot Clan, the Palm Clan, or the Vagina Clan?
Well, I can rule one of them out right away.
The Foot Clan. Oh wait, is this?
What are you
A...
talking
Correct.
about? It's my question.
Oh, go ahead. Go
You
ahead.
can't
No, it was
interrupt.
open to both.
It was not open to both. This was my question.
Oh, this is Brian's question. All
And it was a play on the Hand Clan in the Daredevil comics, so definitely was the Foot.
Oh, I
the
would have
Foot
gotten
Clan.
her. Oh, it is Foot Clan then.
It is Foot Clan,
Oh.
yes.
I was totally just
Boy, you
guessed.
boys
I
are getting
was-
competitive, aren't you?
Well, that
Oh.
means that means you. That if that's the last question, Brian wins by. Oh, I gotta give you a ding. That means you won by 2 today. Do I have that right? Let's check. The
I don't
chat.
know. It's like a crazy mixed. It's upside down day.
Hang on,
Oh,
hang on.
chat
hang
room
on.
saying,
Okay,
I just-
okay,
I
can
just-
count it. I was writing your names next to them.
I just pulled
All
up
right,
chat
so
room and
the-
it says 9-6.
1.
Brian won 9-6. Is that
Oh
true?
no, that's
Oh,
not
there
right.
we
I
go.
thought it was because I only won by one. I only was ahead by one going to the last question. I thought.
That's what I thought. But they're saying you were up by 2 then.
Hang on. Someone's
right.
been
Okay.
keeping the proper score.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right, you can
Yeah,
open up the
Dreadnix is
chat.
saying 6-9 as well. Tanner's saying 6-9. How is that possible?
Oh, Dreadnext did the whole thing here. Let's see. So question 1, Brian question, Scott question. Oh, I can't read all that.
Just remember, chat, the guys. You know, when I'm back on again for Halloween, we need scorekeepers
Yeah.
because I've
Official
already had a few
scorekeeper.
wines. These two have just woken up. We need people keeping
We
the
need people.
scores.
Yes, that's right. It needs to be somebody from the East Coast who's been up for a
Yes.
while
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
Yeah, there you go.
alert and
Well, either way, Brian wins either way. That we know. So
Yes,
that puts
yeah,
us
it's a
at.
bri win.
So that I
Yep.
don't know what the overall is though. That's the other thing we haven't kept very good
Well, you
track
won
of.
the last one, Scott. Brian won this one. I'll try and find all my notes and try and pull it all together for
Okay.
Halloween.
Ooh,
Ooh,
Halloween.
yes. I say we reset like at the end of the year and
I think so, too.
to keep
Oh
track
yeah, let's
of,
do it once. Yeah, I like that. I like
Totally
that.
agree. Totally agree.
that's
yeah,
like,
we reset. It starts from 0, and
Yep.
it's all new quizzes. I think next one I will do, seeing that we at the Retro Cinema just released our top 10 80s action films, I will do action films after Halloween questions. So I hope you boys are both into horror.
Oh, I love
Yeah.
horror movies. Yeah, let's do it.
Yeah?
Oh, yeah.
cool.
Yeah.
Especially old
I think
stuff.
better go watch some more of it this month.
Yeah.
I'll do horror from every decade. I'm not just going to stick
Cool.
to one decade. So I'll do horror from all decades.
Okay.
So,
Cool.
yeah, that'll be
All right.
that'll be fun.
Yeah, I look forward to that. That'll be rad.
That'll be good.
Gidget,
Thanks, boys.
tell people where
Thank
they get your
you.
show. Where can they get your show
Thank
so they know
you.
where to go? Where do they go? Where do they get your show?
Oh, okay. Just type into Google the Retro Cinema Podcast. We just, as I said, we just did the top 10 80s action films of the 80s of all time. Both Angry Man and I did our own list. And we've recently done The Fog and Heathers as well. So go and check them out.
Go
'cause
check them
We're only
out.
an hour-long podcast and we don't swear, unlike I do on this show.
Oh, wow. Look at that. Excellent. Check it out, everybody. Gidget, have a fantastic month, and we'll see you
Thanks,
at the end
boys.
of October.
Thanks, Gidget.
Bye.
It's not like she was surprised that we were going to give her a chance to plug the show.
I know. I do it every month. That's why I was laughing. It's like, no, you always get to plug your show.
Oh, where
wait
do
a
people
minute.
find me?
I wasn't prepared for this. Anyway, I do like horror films. Horror.
Good games, Scott.
Yeah, that was good.
Even if our MC decided to switch up the rules unexpectedly.
I kind of thought we were heading toward we're just gonna get every question right to the end. I really did.
I thought so too, but friggin' Knight Rider.
Yeah.
Has to be a question about a show. Like, you look at that list, and I feel like I spent the entire 80s watching TV, but Golden Girls I wouldn't have had a shot with
Yeah.
without you taking one off the board and her saying that it's a character that's most like her.
Yeah.
Knight Rider, I probably would have gotten the I would have gotten the 18 via process of elimination and Dukes of Hazzard. It's like, golly, she didn't ask questions about all the shows that I watched,
No.
except for Moonlighting.
Right. The Moonlighting one came up and I went,
Yeah.
shit, this is it. This is where
What
we
about
diverge.
Captain Stobing? What about Ricardo Montalban?
Yeah, where is that guy? What's up with that guy?
I guess it was more of a sitcom thing, so that makes sense.
Yeah, that's a good point. All right, I have a quick thing here that I'm going to read.
Yes. Oh yes, please do.
Let's see if I can find it. Here it is.
Oh yeah,
this-
good. I was hoping.
Yeah, this is a good one.
I like this.
So you're a guy who appreciates music on all levels. Like if it's you can get a cool vinyl that you want to collect or whatever, you go get it because you're
Yeah,
that kind of
but if
music guy.
But if it's also available streaming, I'll probably, the problem with the problem with vinyl is I've got a fairly decent turntable, but it's not easy to get out and hook up and record from and stuff like that. Plus, I want all my music digitally, so I'd have to rip it.
Yeah,
so,
that's a pain. Big pain.
It's like when Record Store Day comes along, it's like, oh, good, there's an album I don't have. Does it come with a little thing that lets you download the album so you don't have to worry about playing the vinyl?
Yeah, there is something about having that vinyl and stacking it or putting it somewhere on the wall and showcasing it or whatever.
Just the
But
pretty,
you really want to play
the
it.
pretty vinyl color, like the clear vinyl blue patterned stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly. Well, on vinyls, we got an email from Louis Loiho, who said the following: I'm listening to TMS 1989, and you were talking about vinyl and why people buy them. This is a very important topic for me since I love music, and I'm also very curious to see what Brian especially thinks about the quote-unquote loudness war. Okay?
Ooh.
Which brings me to the reason I'm writing this. I buy vinyls because of the loudness war, not because I'm an old fart, I'm 48 by the way, that thinks that vinyls sound warmer. Not at all. Loudness war is basically the music industry making music louder by compressing the dynamic range of the music. Nothing to do with MP3s, that's just file compression. For CDs and digital, they can make the songs as loud as they want, but not for vinyls due to limitations of the physical media. They still make it as loud as possible, but there's still a lot of dynamic range in a new mastered vinyl, which makes vinyl sound better than CDs or digital.
Digital.
These could and used to sound better than vinyl. I have some albums on both CD, original uncompressed masters, and vinyl, like Dark Side of the Moon, and the CD is far superior in its sound. I have also some new releases of on both, like the latest Metallica album, and the vinyl sounds so much better than the digital. So it's not the media itself that is the culprit, it's the mastering. I buy the vinyls, old and new, remaster it to digital, using a nice turntable and listen to it mostly on my phone. They still sound better. I hope the above made sense. I'll keep fighting the loudness war and spreading the word. Happy to discuss anytime. Love the show, though. Luis.
Yeah, that totally makes sense.
Yeah.
I always thought it was like, there's just a warmer sound to vinyl than there is to CDs, and I hear that argument all the time. I never even thought about loudness on there because that's totally a thing. You are limited on the turntable. You can basically, when you're dealing with digital files, the mastering can set it as loud as they want, but with vinyl, you're kind of limited to the physical range of the needle and the vinyl. So
I'd never even thought about that. That's like totally.
I didn't either. That's brilliant. Totally makes sense. While you were talking about that, I was trying to see if I have any cool vinyl.
Oh, you got anything around?
I have a lot of albums.
I mean, your music man.
Springsteen's "Cover Me" single right here.
Cover me.
Aha's "Hunting High and Low." Is this on Pretty?
Oh,
it is. Here you go. This is on Pretty.
Oh, look at that. I like those. Those are cool.
Yeah, I do too.
I think those are rad looking. That song is memey as hell. People use it on TikTok constantly. I see some 17-year-old playing Aha, and I'm like, you don't even know that band. You don't know who that is.
You poser.
What are you even doing?
Poser.
Nikki wrote in, says, Dear Scarab and Beetle. Oh, I like that.
Mm-hmm.
Since we're talking about bug-eating stories, I thought I'd share mine, she says.
Were we though?
Yeah, were we? Well, we talked about, what were we talking about? Somebody.
Yeah, I think we were talking about.
The guy that ate the. There was a beetle in his.
Oh, right, and then just decided, looked at it, thought about it,
it,
and then decided to eat it. That's right.
Freaking ate it. Yeah. So that's what this is in reference to. It says, one day I was making chocolate chip cookies with my boyfriend. Perhaps you can see where this is going. After the cookies were in the oven, I spotted a leftover chocolate chip on the counter, or so I thought. I popped it in my mouth, and straight away I realized it didn't taste like chocolate, followed by a nasty crunch. I spit out what looked like some kind of teeny baby roach and internalized my disgust and shame, boyfriend none the wiser. By the time we had gotten ready for bed, I couldn't hold it in any longer, and I confessed my disgusting bug-eating mistake. Thought you'd enjoy or hate this story, Nikki. Oof. I both hated it and enjoyed it, so...
oh yeah, you made a bug, but then it's like a teeny cockroach. No.
Yeah. Yep.
It feels like that's the worst bug to eat.
That's foul, dude. I feel bad for you, not the bug. The bug can F off.
Yeah. I can't think of a bug I'd like to eat less.
Yeah. Well, hold on.
Yeah, I know. Like grasshopper? Oh, a moth. I think I'd eat a moth or a
in its raw living
cockroach.
Form. That's important here, right? The raw living form of a bug. It can't
yes,
be
right, exactly. Like
cooked up or whatever.
Taken right off the sidewalk, popped into your mouth and eaten, not crickets baked into chocolate chip cookies or something.
I think for me it would be a whole it'd be a whole praying mantis.
Really?
Just the whole thing. Just a big spindly praying mantis. Would be the grossest thing I could have in my mouth.
God, I don't know. I feel like cockroach would still be worse for me than praying mantis.
I don't know. It depends on where you got the roach. Like out in the wild, they're not so bad. But like if they're living in like old rundown buildings in New York or something, it's probably the worst bug you could ever.
Well, okay. I mean, I guess that's the other thing. This is a freshly washed but still alive bug.
Yeah, let's say
freshly clean.
Yeah, let's say it's clean. It doesn't have any kind of. It's not going to give you some disease or anything. It's just a clean bug.
I'm also worried about things biting or stinging me on the way down. I don't want to eat a bee.
Imagine a big, juicy, freaking murder hornet down your throat.
Oh, jeez, that's a multiple bite situation. You're not eating that in one bite. I don't care what Jeff Probst promises you. I don't care if you think you are getting immunity that week.
Yeah, or forever, or any at all.
Right, exactly.
Wow.
You know what? I'll head to the Ponderosa. Thanks.
Sounds good. Yeah, I'll eat at a Cracker Barrel before I'll do that. All right, well done, Nikki. We took Garrett took issue with our Cracker Barrel criticisms.
Garrett Weinzierl?
Yeah, he thinks it's amazing. He loves their chicken something.
What? Of all people, I would not expect Garrett Weinzierl to be a Cracker Barrel
agree.
apologist.
Yeah. He's a Cracker
Barrel defender.
Yeah, he's a defender of the Cracker Barrel, and he was like super into some chicken thing they do. Yeah, he was like all into it. And somebody else said, "Oh yeah, their mac and cheese is great," and I'm like, "I don't know, you guys. I don't know about this that you're saying." Oh, look, another one. Diced tomato.
Well,
Loves
okay.
Cracker
All's right
Barrel.
in the world. I feel like the planets have realigned if Diced Tomato loves Cracker Barrel. I feel like, oh, well, okay, there we go. Now I feel good about hating Cracker
This
Barrel.
explains so much about Diced Tomato.
Exactly.
He loves everything we hate, and he hates everything we love.
Exactly.
That's amazing. All right, we're going to take a break. When we come back, my sister Wendy, she'll be here. She is a licensed therapist, and she's got ideas on how to help somebody this week who pinged me this week and said, hey, if you guys have time for this, please include my question. And we did. So we're going to do that, and that'll come up right after this song Brian's going to play.
Hash brown casserole? So they're talking
This is the Iron Outpost.
It's well lit for an abandoned outpost.
Our approach hasn't been subtle. We should be prepared for resistance inside.
When are we not prepared?
I don't know anything about women.
You're threatening me? You're threatening me with pee? This is the morning stream.
And we're back, everybody. Welcome back. Smoky throat, smoky throat.
Again, that's Temmie Scott. The song is Understudy. Temmie is spelled Temme, like Lemmy. Except I guess that's not like Lemmy from. It's not the.
Oh,
That's
not
not
like
the
Motorhead
Lemmy
Lemmy.
Kilmister spelling. It's L. Yeah, that'd be Lemmy with a Y. But Temme Scott, and it's Trust You is the name of the brand new album.
Is Lemmy short for Lemuel?
Oh, let me see. Actually, if it says what her real first name is.
Just curious. Because I got...
Well, it's Temmie, not Lemmy.
Right. Sorry.
But I wonder if it's like short for
Dimmer.
Temme.
I don't know
No,
what it
everything is listed as Temmie, so
All right.
it doesn't say like what her real name. Even like sometimes they'll use different names in the credits, the song credits, or they'll use their full name or their
Oh.
non-stage name. But
Yeah.
it's Temmie Scott everywhere. So
Nice. Well, may she ever
she
reign.
describes her new album, by the way, as literally just effing songs.
Wow, that's something
I can see
else.
that actually from that one right there.
Sure. It's nice and chill. All right.
It is.
Hey, everybody, look who it is.
Everyone knows it's Wendy.
It's Wendy Dunford. It's my sister. She's in Minnesota, and she's all the way here on the phone to talk about stuff we talk about on Thursdays, which is therapy stuff. We try to help people all the time. Wendy, welcome back to the show. How are you?
Thanks, I'm good. Brian, how do you pronounce my name?
How do you? Oh,
Wendy.
Wendy.
No, Scott,
Wendy
you say
Dunford.
Wendy.
it. Now you say it, Brian.
Wendy.
Yeah, it's different. You
Is-
say
Really?
Windy, Scott.
I do. I say Wendy.
Uh-huh.
I thought I said
Association
Wendy.
says Wendy.
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 But the song said Windy too.
Yeah,
so that's
well,
what
the
made
song is Windy. It's not everyone
Oh,
knows
you're
it's
right.
Wendy. The song is
Oh.
everyone knows it's Windy.
Oh, right. Yeah, no, okay.
But they're
maybe-
talking about a person. They're not talking about the weather.
I wonder if I have done that. Have I called you Windy?
my dad spelled it Windy my whole life.
He did?
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
he,
funny.
he was a bad
Yeah.
speller, but I didn't know he couldn't spell his own kids'
Really
names.
bad, to the point where he could not spell my name.
It's like the reverse of Tina, because Tina can't say milk. She says milk. So it's
Milk.
Oh,
like,
she does say milk.
yeah, it's like
Yeah.
Wendy or Windy.
Yeah. Milk
My
is
whole
a
family
common-
says milk, and then my one kid says milk.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
Oh,
where
wow.
were you raised? In a barn?
Yeah. Who have you been talking to?
My oldest.
What other family do you hang out
When,
with?
when
Right.
Taylor was little, she'd say mute. So if she wanted new milk, she'd say, I need mute. And she could say almost everything else.
Aw.
But mute. It was like almost mute. M-U-T-E. I need more mute. Anyway.
More mute.
It's good to have you here. We, of course, saddle up to the table here and we talk about, some of the hard times people are going through, how we can help them, that sort of thing. And, well, today's no different. We got a message. Someone reached out to me via Twitter. Got a private message this week from somebody. I will not be using their name. And they asked me to read this on the show. So, Wendy, if you are ready and prepared, here it comes. My 16-year-old son already struggles with anxiety and depression. He has seen counselors and is currently taking medication. He's not been functioning well with the current situation of COVID-19 and quarantine. To deal with his mental problems, he has been turning to junk and fast food as a stimulant. He says that it is the only thing that makes him happy. He sits around a lot and does not like to exercise. He sneaks food in the middle of the night. Since March, he has gained 40 pounds. He is now anxious and about to go back to school and attending other activities. When society begins to open back up, he feels bad about himself and how he looks. He is embarrassed by his weight gain. He wants to lose weight, but he feels hopeless. We don't know what to do to help him. So here we have a case of, like, literally March was the beginning of this for him, and he, like a lot of us, probably turned to food as a coping mechanism, and now it's time to figure out what the heck to do. So where do you want to start with this one?
Well, I want to start with them, but they can't answer my questions unless they're listening.
They probably are, but they can't answer in real time, I guess.
Because what I'd like to know is what they've done since March.
Oh, interesting.
Oh, the parents, right? Sure.
Yeah.
Because to me,
I know I can tell you what I've been doing since.
Yeah,
March.
tell us what you've been doing since March.
Same thing. I've been eating junk food and garbage.
Oh, you know
and
what?
Not getting any exercise and
they're in the chat room.
Oh, they are. Okay, cool.
I'm going to send a private message to them and just say, "Hey, fill me in on anything that Wendy wonders about."
Cool. So start with what have you guys been doing since?
What have you guys been doing? Because Brian is proving my theory very well. Thanks, Brian. Which is
no problem.
This kid is just doing what is weirdly biologically coming very naturally to all of us.
Yeah.
Now, there's obviously people doing the opposite. I have one of those people in my house, and I cannot understand it or believe it. But my 15-year-old is like, he had the opposite thought. He's just like, I will be the coolest kid when this is over. So he works out hard every night. He's still skinny. It's like, Scott, if you had muscles when you were 16. So imagine that, right? So he's pretty
impossible.
ripped, but he's skinny.
Yeah. It's all
And
spread
he plays the guitar constantly. So he's gotten really good. So he's like, girls will love me when we're done. And what's amazing is he goes to school with a mask and he's not even anywhere near anyone. And he's like, this is not how this is supposed to be.
Yeah.
So it's very funny that it's not panning out. But so that's more rare, but there's definitely people who've gotten in that category. And I think they've extra posted on the internet how they've done all their projects and painted a million things and made their lives magically, and they wrote a screenplay and they made the rest of us feel like crap. Okay, so there's those, sure.
Yeah, they exist.
But the vast majority, I would assume, have done more of what this kid has done.
Well, here's a quick. I got an update from the person in question, and speaking to what have you guys done since March as well? He says, my wife and I both run and work out. We try to encourage him to do it with us. My wife is a healthy eater and a vegetarian. So there sounds like there's like some pretty decent habits on the parental side. Just having a hard time getting the 16-year-old on board with it.
Gotcha. And weirdly, that may be related.
No, I can see that. I'm actually not surprised to hear you say that.
Yeah. So what do you think? Why do you think that's?
I think that's probably a little bit of this is like, I mean, I do this with Kim a little bit. She's very motivated. How do I put this? Okay, you know what? Let's go back to this. Let's go back to this earthquake that happened in March, also, because there's a very specific thing that happened. I'm not sure she knows it happened in my head, but it happened. We both wake up at 7 a.m. with the bed going, and the house is shaking and making a horrible noise. It sounds like there's a train ripping through the house. It's just the weirdest thing. And so we're experiencing this 4.8, whatever it was, earthquake, and it's her first she's ever had. My first thought was, if this is the worst thing ever, I'm just going to sit here, and if we die, we die, and we die together, and it's great. Her first thing was, all right, what do I remember from when I was trained what to do? We're going to go, okay, we're going to get under the structure of some sort, and we're going to stay there until things stop moving. And then the very first next thing we're going to do is grab our bug-out bags, get them outside in case we need them, and get the dogs. Like she goes into emergency mode in a way that's proactive, right? Oops. Mm-hmm. Where she gets very proactive and she's ready to fix it. Let's fix it. Let's fix it. Let's fix it. And I'm usually like, well, just calm down for a second. Let's see how this goes and that sort of thing. But what's funny is when she gets hyper fix it, I get a little rebellious against that in a weird way. It's like, no, I'm good. You stand under the structure. Like, Like it's a very odd thing that I do, that when I do it, and I know that I'm doing it and I try not to do it because I think it's actually my problem, not hers. But I have this feeling of like, I don't want to do what you're doing, or I don't want to do the thing that everyone says I should do. I want to do this other thing. So to answer your question, is it that? Is it him not necessarily rebelling, but is it him saying, well, great, good for you guys. You're all, awesome and you're motivated to go run every day, but it doesn't work for all of us or whatever. I'm just going to eat this bag of Cheetos. Like, is it that kind of thing?
I mean, I think there's definitely an element to that. Because it's funny, my kid working out every night, I'm like impressed by it, but it makes me more tired, and then I work out less.
Yeah.
Makes you more tired to watch it?
Yeah, like, oh, listen, that's so much effort. Okay.
Yeah.
So I think you can have it any direction, right? And I think you can have kids saying, well, I'm not going to be like my parents in any form, right? And so I here's the thing about the part that maybe is the biggest hint in the email is that he's sneaking it at night. So what we have here is a kid who is having some normal stress response to a global pandemic that has uprooted his whole life. And he already had some stuff he was struggling with before.
Yeah.
So maybe those things, he didn't have the coping strategies in place quite yet to handle those. And then we just added like an elephant on top of him, right? Like he shouldn't be doing well. And I'm saying this to everyone, like, if you're doing well, good for you, but you shouldn't be. It's a miracle that anyone's doing okay, right?
Yeah.
And we're going to make it through, and we're all going to do our best, and right? But it is absolutely understandable if you're like not okay, right? And so he's not okay, and there's reasons for that. But here's where there's actually a whole lot of power, but is going to feel the opposite, right? Okay, so especially if you are healthy, and and maybe I can even ask them directly because they're listening.
Yeah.
But what did they get out of exercising regularly and eating certain kinds of food? And, what's the benefit?
Right.
And you guys have both tried that at least once in your life. What's the benefit? Or how do you feel about it? Right?
Well,
what's the feedback loop that you get when you're behaving that way?
When I'm behaving that way and I'm doing it consistently, there's a few things that happen. One, you just physically feel better. Your blood's pumping. You just got more energy. Like you're just in a better place physically. Obviously, I feel like that's just a given if you're actually doing it. But also on the mental side, there is some satisfaction in, I did this thing. Like I did this thing I wasn't being forced to do. Nobody was here telling me to do it. My own worst enemy is myself, and I kicked it in the nuts and did it. Like that's a big part of it for me when I'm doing it. And it's also the opposite is true when I'm not doing it, because I'm mad at myself for not doing it. And so there's this voice in the back of my head going, you should be doing it, but you're not doing it. But it's nobody but me. It's just me yelling at myself. And a kid, oftentimes, and this was true of Nick, like Nick, getting him up in the morning and out the freaking door on time was murder. It was so freaking hard. But I've learned very quickly that it was just about us making him do it. It wasn't about he needed to have whatever motivation he had. So now with his job where he's doing really well and they really like him and they're giving him all kinds of responsibilities and he's just kicking butt over there. He gets up right when he has to. He'll get up at 3:00 in the morning and drive a truck to freaking Midway because they're doing an event out there or whatever. And he'll do it on his own, and nobody has to make him do anything. He's doing it because he's got his own motivations now. And so there's something with that, where...
Well, and he's always had his own motivation.
Right.
It's that it's in response to parents. And that's part of growing up that you can't eliminate and don't eliminate. We need to still have parents taking care of kids, right?
Yeah.
But there is maybe a balance or a shift that needs to take place that is maybe they're running into. And here's what happens often. When you see a kid do behavior that concerns you, and rightfully so, I think parents are like, okay, they're concerned. So then they double down doing what they've already been doing. And that is natural. We take our skill set and then we just nail the hammer on the nail harder. Like that's our job. Yeah. And yet there might be the worst thing we could do is be nailing a nail with a hammer. Right. And so it's hard to know because we're scared. When we're scared, we do that type of thing. So that, first of all understandable, especially when you've experienced how good it feels to be healthier. You have that feedback loop that feels good. You want that for your kid. So at the core, we got to acknowledge what we want for our kid is what is best, right? So you wanted Nick up and out the door because it served him to finish high school. It serves him to learn these responsibilities, blah, 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 right? That's what parenting is we got to make them do stuff they don't want to do so they can be successful in life.
Right.
Okay. Fair. But if you've been doing that and this kid is now sneaking food in the middle of the night, that's when we got to back up and go, okay, our strategy comes from a good place and comes from our own understanding of some basic health math, which is I do this and this and I get this response and it feels good. So you want that for him. And I'd like everyone in the audience to raise your hand if you've tried to get your partner or child to eat healthier and lose weight. Raise your hand.
I mean,
my hand's raised.
Kim would have her hand reaching to the sky because she's trying to help me eat healthier all the time. Yeah.
And here's the thing. It's almost impossible to do with how most of us try to do it, which is we start with trying to get him to come with us. And then we try by like only making healthy food, or then we get to shaming maybe, and don't mean to, but we do, right? So you use all of these strategies and that's us.
Haven't you already had a cookie today, Brian?
Right. Yeah. So over and over and over. And all that does is, I'm making this way more binary than it is, but all that does really is invite them to rebel or submit, right?
Right.
And when you're a teenager, you're probably not great at submitting in the general sense, and or you don't feel good, right? And so your parents bossing you around doing something they already do that doesn't seem hard for them, it feels like just more of the, sort of piling on.
I hadn't thought of it that way. It's a very binary thing you're talking about. People are either expecting you to submit or rebel. There isn't a lot of granularity between those two.
My will, right?
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And my will is backed up by A, research, and B, I love you so much. So what are you supposed to say to that?
All right.
Like, my parents know best, and they're healthy, and you're like, but I just freaking want Doritos at 2 a.m.
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay, so you got to ask yourselves, what is the kid really doing?
Mm-hmm.
What is he really doing? Because we know a couple things. We know he doesn't feel good.
Right.
And we know if he is eating only junk food, he absolutely is not feeling good. Because we all get used to you get used to being mineral and nutrient deprived if you eat a bunch of junk food. You're used to that feeling, potentially, right? But you don't feel good compared to if you, have a treat all you want, but if you had other nutrients and then had a treat, you'd still feel good. But only junk or only sort of foods that are, nutrient really low in nutrients, that your body isn't meant to be that way, right?
Yeah.
So he doesn't feel good. So we're concerned. So the question then becomes, how do we help him feel like he has space to choose what feels good to him? And he's probably pretty disconnected from what feels good. I think there's a lot of folks. Oh, for example, sleep. If we think of food is so loaded and annoying, it's this unfortunate part of life that if you have a problem with food, it's not like you can just leave it for a couple of weeks. You always have to deal with it, right? Because it's 3 times a day or more.
Required, yeah.
And sleep is another example that's similar to that, but it's another one where everybody's just kind of all over the map. And sleep is crucial to human functioning. And we're all in different places with sleep. And I would say the pandemic has had a very interesting impact on sleep, and it's sort of universally and being researched. It's fascinating. Everyone's sleeping worse, basically.
Yeah.
Not only just from stress, but shifting when they're awake and, lots of different behaviors that maybe weren't so collectively happening.
Yeah.
And it has an impact. It has an impact on the chemicals that are released in our body and then impacts how we eat and move, et cetera. So it's all tied together. So it sounds like this kid has got some sleep stuff. He's not eating to feel good. He is not moving to feel good. And so he's not feeling good. Yeah. So you think about it. If you're not feeling good, what do you want from someone? So I'm going to ask both of you. And think about it. You had Doritos for 4 nights in a row.
Yeah.
and you haven't moved in a long time and you don't feel good and your sleep is off. What do you want? What do you think
Something
would help
comfortable, something familiar, something comfortable,
Yeah.
something.
I'd want something that would break me out of my pattern, like a shock to my pattern. Even though I don't really want that, that's what would work, and I know that.
So you guys said the exact opposite thing.
Yeah, we did, didn't we?
Interesting.
That's true. Yeah, I said I wanted something comfortable. Scott wanted something uncomfortable.
The problem is
right.
all the things I find that the things I would normally find really comfortable. Sometimes if you give in to them being the dominant thing, then I'm comfortable to the point of I know that this is too much comfort and I'm avoiding something. And in my head, I'm like, I've got to do something. Shocking needs to happen to shock me out of it. Like I don't know.
Let me see. Pre-diabetic diagnosis?
No. Yeah. Actually, that's a good example.
Yeah, that's a great example.
But like another good one would be like, suddenly you hear, this is a bad example actually, but let's say you heard a gunshot outside. Immediately, all of my woe is me's and all my I got to sit here and eat Doritos. I love that Doritos is our focus, is our target today.
Yeah.
But all of those things would suddenly go, get out the way! I gotta go find out who shot what. Suddenly everything changes. Like it's a sudden shocking thing. Sometimes is what I need personally to get out of whatever rut or pattern I'm in.
Think nobody's gonna Kim can't come and say that thing to you.
No.
Nope.
No.
And Brian, I'm assuming the comfort, and you can describe more, but I had an idea when you said comfort of
Crunchwrap Supreme.
Well,
let's call it what it is. Crunchwrap Supreme, baby.
Fine. So I'm thinking something different. I'm thinking something like somebody expressing concern and love in a way that is not loaded.
Yeah.
Right?
Exactly. The drive-through lady at Taco Bell expressing comfort and love with a Crunchwrap Supreme.
Right.
Yeah.
It's all connected. Sure.
So we're going to combine this a little bit. So first of all, let's describe what the boy's actual challenge is. He has some mood regulation that he is not in control of. He's not feeling great. His mind does certain things that he is also not in control of. So he's anxious. I mean, there's all this stuff happening.
Yeah.
Food is not the problem. Food is the solution. The solution is I eat this and my parents get mad, but it still makes me feel better.
Yeah.
And so now I've got shame on top of all my food, right? And then I'm going to do this in the middle of the night to hide from them. And then the reality is 40 pounds you're going to gain if you're eating food to feel better. And so we got to recognize what it is. It's a medicine of choice right now because that's the medicine he has.
Right.
So instead of talking about food and exercise, I know this is so hard. Believe me, I've spent years learning how to not talk about just exercising more, honey.
Yeah.
It's very hard. It's very hard to do. But guess what? Your example, good enough. Shut your mouths about that thing in particular.
Yeah.
And go to where we can actually be effective. And so for example, Nick thinks you he had to fight against you making him get up.
Yep.
And what happens when he didn't have to fight against you getting him up? He got up.
Yeah.
And it's because there's something else there. There's something else there for that kid.
Yeah.
And if we make it about food and exercise, and I get it, he's paying the consequence socially for this, and it's making everything worse. So you're thinking the solution is stop eating and get your butt exercising. And yes, those things are great. And they need to happen at some point for him to feel completely good. But if we start there, then we're going to try to manage his core problem with food and exercise, which a lot of us use that to help. I'm not saying anyone's doing this right, but there is an order that can be much more effective.
Yeah.
So if they're there, I'd be interested to know, and maybe they sent an email and I can't remember, if he is getting help. No?
Well, he says he's on some medication. He didn't say what. Medication. We could probably find out. He says that, let's see, last summer he was a lifeguard and was in really great shape. So, in normal times, he was doing all right, had a job. He says in here he's having a really hard time getting him to have any interest in trying to pursue a job right now. He says, to your earlier question, he says, I feel better after I work out. I get a natural high. I also like fast food too, but I limit myself. And then last thing he said was he says, I don't know what the medication is. My wife knows, and she's not here with me at the moment. She's a nurse. And then he says,
maybe.
He says he's run with me before. No jobs for lifeguards this summer, etc. So, anyway.
Okay. So he's just a cute dad worried about his kid, right?
Yeah.
Like, this is all of us. And again, so going back to my hammer nail analogy a little bit, is that what we have to be careful with is that the solution we have for ourselves, we don't over force on our kids. I think I told you the baseball thing that Abe said to me recently. So they've tried to start up a little fall thing, and then they're going to have baseball again in the spring. And Abe comes to me and he goes, he's not only worked out also COVID, he's also become wise. And he says to me, hey Mom, you're going to have to live through the next kid because I like music and art.
I love it.
And I was like, touche, because I love baseball. I love sports. I want to sit in a bleacher for 20 hours. That's what I want to do. And he's like, I know, Mom, but I care about music.
Yeah, he is so my nephew. I love it.
You can sit in the audience and watch him perform a piano concerto or something like that.
This is what's funny is I was like, wow, that is wise, and I'm going to believe you, and I'm going to listen to you, and I'm also going to live through the next kid.
Yeah.
So he nailed it, right? Like, isn't that parenting? I mean, that's what makes this so difficult, is that we know better all the time. We think we know better, and we're not wrong.
Yeah.
But we're also not that person. And so if I can't start to see my child as an individual with a particular set of needs and, ways they work, then I'm going to just keep hammering certain things. Right. And so I'm not saying, believe me, I hear you. Physical exercise is going to help this kid 100%. Right. Mm-hmm. And so is eating better, of course. But how do you get anyone to do those things is not by making those the things we're talking about.
Right.
That only makes the digging in the heels and the sneaking and the rebelling and the whatever. So this is magical wishful thinking, maybe. But what I would love to see is for mom and nurse. This one also makes it worse, by the way.
Yeah.
Because you know better, right? And you have to just genuinely put what you know on the back burner and recognize that your love and concern is coming out as you know better and bossy, maybe, or whatever. I mean, I don't know what the kid's complaining about with you, but I bet if I sat down and talked to him, he'd say, I know this stuff. It's not like they're telling me something I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel bad enough. So all you get is more and more shame, right? Because here's the thing. If that kid starts to feel better, you know what he's going to do? He'll eat better and move more. It's going to happen. He already had a life prior to COVID that included that, right? Yeah. So it's already there. And so what we want to do is help get him to a state where he is feeling good about things. Is it easy to do? No.
Yeah.
So maybe being careful with, are we saying, are we pushing health and that stuff on him? And is the world just a little too much in his life? I'm doing a presentation for a friend of mine moved to Saudi Arabia, and there's, all these teenagers that her kid goes to school with and plays sports with. They're all Americans living over there. Mm-hmm. And so I'm preparing a mental health thing for all these kids, and I'm surveying them. And so these are 12 to 16 year olds, maybe to 18, 17. And, I've given them surveys on depression and anxiety and what are they worried about and questions and concerns they have. And I'm not saying it's a microcosm for every teenager everywhere, but this is such a weird little enclave of, it's like Americans living in a compound in Saudi Arabia. Is like a very special group,
Yeah.
But just how universal this stress is and how universal I asked him how much time they spend on social media and how much is bad news and how much are they absorbing that is scary. Mm. And it's a lot. And these are very serious student type kids, right? Like they're they're all in pretty hard school or whatever. And they're just overwhelmed and they're depressed and they want to understand about how do I do everything and I still feel like I'm a worthless piece of crap, or, so I'm going through all these different things to try to figure out how to answer all their questions, but we don't know. I mean, collectively there's a problem, obviously, but individually, what is going on for this kid? So if he is not talking to someone, you need to figure out a way for him to talk to someone, even if it's BetterHelp. And I think it's betterhelp.com that is just texting. I did a session recently where it was just texting back and forth because the girl just could not be on a camera, could not handle it. And it's really helpful. It can be. It's not ideal, and from my point of view, but it's something, and it can be really great, especially if that's the metric they always use anyway, or the medium. So this idea of like what is really going on for him, he may not be able to tell you guys. But to see that the pain he's in and the stress he's under, A, a lot of it is normal, but B, like, what does he actually need? And it may look like a strong reduction in, sort of negative input. It may be that something has happened and he needs to talk about it. It may be that he just needs a safe place to go. My parents are too healthy. It drives me crazy, or whatever. Right? So that we're treating the right thing instead of treating the symptoms, which is the food and the sneaking. I mean, it's so tempting to go right for the behavior, but the behavior is just telling us something else. And that's what we have to get curious about.
Yeah. I mean, I can tell you it's just so, I don't know if this will make anyone feel better or worse, but last night at about 8:30 or so, I had just done a long day and then had just finished shows and stuff. And I'd had dinner at like 6 and was plenty full and didn't need food. But there lied a bag of those twirly, twisty looking honey flavored. I can't remember. No, there's not candy or not sugary, but it was. I can't think what they're called.
Twigs, the sticks.
No, not even those. It's similar though. Well, I can't think of the stupid thing. They're Fritos, but they're the curly ones.
Oh,
the kind
Fritos are the curly ones, yeah.
Are they? Usually they're wavy, aren't they? These are like some kind of weird twisty. Anyway.
Oh, so like more than just like the strips that have kind of curled when they.
Yeah. These are like made into they almost look like pasta, like the twisty pasta stuff.
Okay.
Anyway, whatever they are, there was just some there, and I'm like, have a couple of those, and I'm just sort of mindlessly doing that and checking my email, and before I realize what I've done, I've eaten like a quarter of that bag. Like, what am I doing? I don't need this right now. I'm not hungry even. Like, what even is this that I'm doing? What is this behavior I'm doing right now? So I would say it's important for this kid to know that everybody's struggling with it on some level. And it's not about whether, if you messed up today on the food, that means you've failed, you're done, and there's no chance. That's the way I felt when I was younger, right? And in fact, I talked this stuff about Nick not getting up. He's basically me at the age that he was struggling with that. And that was the added hard part of this. This definitely wasn't Kim. She was up at the crack of dawn every day her whole life. So she was just annoyed. But I saw it and I had an extra level of annoyance because I'm like, oh my gosh, he's turning into me. I don't want that. Don't be me. Be somebody else. Be better than me. All right? And so there's some of that involved probably. I can't speak for these parents, obviously. I don't know.
No, you're right. I mean, that's impossible. I mean, you don't think Abe's baseball career with a wicked left-handed curveball is devastating to his mother? It is. Seriously, he is left-handed and 6'4" and throws a ball like it's on fire. Yeah. And guess what? No. He likes guitar and art.
Do music.
I love it.
Here's the thing. So this is true no matter what. That's why we're ineffective.
Right.
As much as we have love and as much as we are desperate and as much as we care more than anything about these creatures, we're the worst person to tell them to stop eating Cheetos and exercise. Now, can we get away with it for a good while they're living with us? Yeah. But at some point, and those of you who are listening to me, and especially any of you who have done Real Steps, you know who you are. Yeah. We've talked extensively about the power our parents had to make our eating problems 10 times worse, right? Yeah. Because they had their own issues with food or their own history of stupid dieting or, whatever it might be. And those generational passed down things that we have, it's difficult. So this kid is doing something. Food has become his medicine, and we don't want to make it worse. That's really the real goal here, is not to make the food and the exercise worse by trying to make it about that. And I know they're not trying to. It's so natural to be like, just get off your butt, you'll feel better, right? Yeah. Mm-hmm. So I do have a suggestion of a book to read. So the Real Steps group has been doing a book club in between sessions, and we're reading this book called Intuitive Eating. And I can't remember, 2 ladies wrote it, and it's been around for a good while. There's a new version. Yeah. I recommend the new version. And it goes through this.
Here's your author. It's Evelyn Tribble and Elise Reich.
Yes, that's right.
Yep.
And it's all about this, first of all, it's going to give you all the data you'll ever want about how diets are the worst thing ever invented for humans. And so this is going to spells out essentially what I want for them to think about when they are interacting with their kid about food or exercise. So, for example, they are doing traditional stuff that, makes them healthier. They exercise, they eat well, they sometimes have fast food. They just, whatever, they're doing their thing. Yeah. And it's working for them well enough, sounds like. Great. That's fine. But recognizing that maybe they're actually doing another thing that everyone has to sort of learn, especially if they grow up in America with our very weird food problem we have here. Yeah. And it's that we are terrible and not trained to do this very well, is to eat intuitively, right? Yeah. What is my body craving? And give it to our body. And then when am I full? And then stop eating. And just uncomplicated relationship with food, because food isn't a drug. Food isn't the cure. Withholding food doesn't give me control and power. I mean, we put a lot of crap on food when food's just innocent in theory. And so the idea is that you can actually learn to listen to what your body wants and needs and not make it feel sick and make sure it's okay. And anyway, this kind of goes through the science of it, and it goes through sort of how to brainwash your brain around dieting and exercise. Yeah. And so it's quite good. And just even if it's not that, even if it's just some version of really thinking about what your kid needs and what we all need when it comes to our health, is that when we tune out from our bodies, then we don't treat them well. And there are complicated cases. This is not covering everyone, because there's a lot of bad things that have happened to people around bodies and food and et cetera. This is the average sort of situation I'm talking about. And so to learn what tuning into your body looks like, to know when you're hungry, when full, what you're craving, what you're not, it's an art. And there's a lot of people who kind of do this naturally. We all know people like this. They just kind of eat when they're hungry. Right. You're like, who are you? Just eating when your body tells you it's time to eat. Right. It's just not the same kind of relationship. And unfortunately, this kid is developing, but he's young still. This isn't permanent. This isn't him in his 60s going, I've fought this my whole life. But it is getting started right now. Right. So to get on a different brainwave about all of this, I just highly, highly recommend it. I know it's complicated and it's not as obvious as what we all are told. Like most doctors are just like, well, you got to lose weight. I mean, they just perpetuate the whole thing, which is the shame and you don't do it right. And, and then it's a $3 billion industry, right? So there's something wrong.
I'm ordering this book right now, by the way.
Good.
It's on Amazon. It sounds like the kind of thing that I could actually use. Because my relationship with food is very adversarial right now. It's either like I'm doing okay. I lost that 25 pounds and kept it off. But there's another 20 I'd love to get rid of. And I'm kind of stuck. I'm plateaued a little bit. And
you need to read it, because she's going to say the last thing you need to think about ever again is losing weight.
Yeah.
And you're going to be like, what the heck?
And I'm going to like that idea. I'm going to like that idea a lot, because I just need to look at it. I need a different look at it. And maybe this will help him. Also, one of the suggestions from the dad who's in the chat room was, or not suggestion, just a question, says, hey, are any plans for real steps for teens at any point, like specifically focused on teens and their stuff?
Good question.
Yeah, I don't know.
We should really do that. How old is the kid again?
16.
He's 16.
I believe.
He could probably do it. It's not like nothing's rated R.
Right. Yeah, it's not like it's, I just didn't know if that makes sense, right? Because it's not like you're going to have, this isn't like drugs where if you're under 13, don't take ibuprofen, but it's okay if you're over 12. You know what I mean? Like, it's not like that. This is
yeah. And that's interesting. I mean, the one part that might not be comfortable is that we have these live meetings where we're all talking, but there's a lot of people who don't even join those. So you could just observe.
Yeah. He's 17.
Yeah.
Just turned 17, he says.
Just turned 17. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I mean, absolutely. And he can send me an email separately if he wants to at admin@realsteps.org.
Oh, nice. You're an admin. I like it.
I'm an admin. Turns out that's so super easy to be an admin. You just have to write it down.
Yeah, you're an excellent
Don't
admin.
be fooled by the org either. I feel like the org is very confusing to the rest of the world. But
You fancied it up when you're an org.
We did. We're an organization now.
Mm-hmm.
No, I mean, this is really tricky stuff. And I feel like, as this book club has been going on, our discussions are like, I mean, just the depth of where this stuff can come from for us. And, we did this really cool experiment where we all ate food really slowly. We did this in Real Steps. And I learned that Red Vines, the licorice, has absolutely no flavor at all if you paid attention.
Yeah.
And the only reason I love it is because it's associated with every travel fun trip I've ever taken.
The memories, the good memories that it brings up. Yeah.
But
it's flavored like nostalgia.
It is flavored like nostalgia. If I just sucked on it, it's literally plastic.
Yeah. They're not great. I mean, I've been in the whole Twizzler side of this war for a long time anyway, but
you know what though? You do it with Twizzlers and you will be shocked that it doesn't taste as good either.
Yeah,
and
it's the same thing. I think that's what I associate it with, because I associate Twizzlers with trips to Lake Powell and
me too.
all the California drive and Disneyland, and that's what I think.
Did Mom buy two kinds of licorice? This is what's happened.
I think she did, dude. I think she got it in her head that I like the Twizzlers, you like the Red Vines, and that she created the war. She's the impetus.
Well, and that's, I mean, no lie. Mom created the war, and the war on fat created the war for her, right? Like there is an origin to. I mean, look at our grandmother who grew up in, the Great Depression and the world wars.
Yeah.
Her food issue was just make sure we have some.
Yeah.
And you know what I mean?
Right.
And then the dieting nightmare of the 80s and fentanyl, whatever, it's not fentanyl, whatever that Fen. What was it that everyone said? Yeah.
Yeah.
And which is basically fentanyl. Right? And so then the diet, the whole like, instead of, it should have been no sugar. Instead, we chose fat to make the problem. And we are all screwed and way more fat. Like it is bad. What we have done is bad. Our whole history with this is a nightmare. And so when people go, oh, it's me. No, it isn't. It isn't you. You were born into this and we got to take you out. And it's hard. It's really hard. And so this sweet kid has found the drug that the rest of adult Americans have found. And there's a version of this that is too healthy too, right? Where that's becomes the drug and the obsession and the problem. So this isn't just one side, right? So we're really looking for what is intuitive, what is good for us? How do we feel? What makes me feel better and stronger and happier? And so often, you just don't even think about it until it's gone. And here's this kid in that position where this pandemic has been hard.
Yeah.
And, I'm amazed at these kids, how resilient they are. Like, this is not one bit good for anybody.
Yeah.
And the reality is they have to get through it, and they will. But can we have better coping strategies? Yes, probably.
Yeah.
So we just need to be really careful that we don't add shame that is naturally already there to the problem.
Yeah, as I was going to say, the shame already exists. You're just giving them more potentially. Yeah. I'm not saying these people are, because I don't know, but that is. I mean, that's I've felt the tendency before. Like I already knew that if Nick's grades were, I keep using Nick because he's the most recent example, and also the girls had really good grades. But when Nick would have a bad grade come in, he already knows it's a bad grade, and he already knows he missed 3 tests and forgot to turn in his homework. He already knows all of that. So me coming in and going, well, if you just turn in your homework, like that's just me adding to a pile he already knows about, and it's just adding to the pile of negativity.
So natural.
Yeah,
It's so
it's so
natural
natural to do it. Yeah, even though I was him, and I was the one with poopy grades in high school, and I was the one having a mom or a dad tell me, "Well, just turn it in, and your grade would be fine." Like I've been through it, but it's still, even then, it's natural. It's just natural to do it.
It is. So that's why I keep the emails that the baseball coach sends, and I read them, and I think, oh wow, it'd be really fun if my kid was a part of that. And then I think, guitar. It's all about guitar now.
Guitar.
It's fine.
Yep, that's right.
And here's the thing. Do I have to not love baseball? No, I can love it. I can still think it's great for kids to play on teams because that's my experience. And I want those benefits for him. And I can still want that stuff. But guess what I got to do? Shut my freaking mouth. That's what I have to do.
Right.
And live through another kid. That's what I have to do. And when that kid disappoints me, I'll have to live through the last kid, which he's a weirdo. So it's not happening. And I'm going to have to just deal with my own life. That's the hardest part about this is they aren't little extensions of us. And if you're not a parent, you're doing this with your dog. And I know it. And I can tell you why.
That dog can throw a baseball, though, let me tell you.
I can tell you why, because it's just like having a baby. I apologize to every dog owner who has ever called themselves a mother to a dog. And I thought that was silly. It is legit. They are like humans.
Yeah.
It's exhausting.
They are exhausting.
Why did no one warn me? You guys all just said, oh, cute, a puppy.
Well, because we've been through it, but we also wanted you to experience it for yourself. We didn't want to set up any expectations. We wanted you to feel the trouble, the pain, the potty training, all that all over again without us, informing any of that.
It's awful. And by the way, your wife and Misha, my sister, both warned me and said, please don't, you will regret it. They are the only two that were honest with me.
Yeah.
And I didn't believe them.
What's funny about that is they're both suckers too, because right after she gave you that advice, Carter, who moved back home for the pandemic, says, hey, I want to get this Weimaraner that I found I want to rescue, and I'm going to raise this gigantic freaking dog and bring it into a house at the time, which already had 2 dogs, so we were going to have 3 there for a while. And Kim was all for it, dude. Took her straight to the thing, went and looked it all up, did all the paperwork, did everything. And she came home and said, honey, you got to tell me how you really feel about dogs, right? Once and for all, do you like dogs or do you not like dogs? She goes, I like supporting my kids. And I said, well, okay. So she is right on both points. Good to support your kids. Also, maybe don't get a dog if you're windy. She was right on both points.
That's a great example of support the kid in the thing that actually is important to them.
Yeah.
Even if you don't agree. So I'm going to support Abe in guitar. Believe me, I pay for his bloody guitar lessons.
Yeah. And you're going to have...
I encourage him to paint on his wall in his room. I am doing the other things. And I just have to cry by myself about baseball.
Just think of it this way. His team is not a baseball team. Instead, it's going to be a bunch of wannabe troubadours all hanging out on the street corner playing guitar with each other. Like, it's just going to be a different team. And it's okay.
And when he's 6'7", I'm going to say, it's not my fault. It's not my fault that you ruined your career. No. And you really do have to you have to control this. And so that's true of health and the eating thing. And especially when you're doing the cooking or, you feel like you are this close to controlling it and you're not.
Yeah.
And again, that kid, this is a lifelong thing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, wouldn't it be awesome if right now he got a really different approach? Because I'm going to tell you, the medical approach is going to perpetually have him in diet starvation mode and cycling. That's what's going to happen.
Yep.
And I'm not saying the medical industry is all wrong about this. I'm saying there is a other version that is much more gentle. So this goes back to Brian's comfort, right? Mm-hmm. That it's about love, concern, and self-care. So we could do a whole hour on this sometime if you guys are interested on the difference between self-comfort and self-care, because they are a little different.
Oh yeah, we should do that.
And there's some what self-care actually can do for you. It includes a lot of comfort. The problem with self-comfort is it actually makes us sicker.
And even talking about the nostalgia thing more, I think would be good. Because, thinking back, I look at like the Crunchwrap Supremes, taking me back to this time that I drove to Taco Bell to get a Crunchwrap Supreme.
Right. Because
it always takes me that nostalgia of that one time that I went and got a Crunchwrap Supreme.
Yeah. And it's always just the last time you went.
It's always the last time.
It's like last week. Yeah.
Yeah, that makes sense. No, I'd love to explore that because I think I have trouble the things that I take comfort in when I'm taking comfort in them, I feel guilty that I'm taking comfort in them, if that makes sense. And I'd like to figure out why that is, because I think maybe I'm supposed to, or maybe I'm not supposed to. I don't know. But like, if I'm like, I work really hard during the week and I really kicked butt and got everything done, all my boxes ticked, and I'm like, you know what I'm going to do now? I am going to just veg out and binge a TV show, or I'm going to play this video game I haven't started yet, and I'm just going to play it. That should be comforting for me, but part of me is like, well, you could be doing more work. You know, like there's a voice in there that's saying that that's me giving up, or that's me slacking off, or that's me, you know. And I hate that because...
Well, you're also doing a transaction.
Yeah.
I have earned something.
Oh, right. Yeah.
And so when have you ever fully earned anything?
Right. No, you're right. That's an interesting...
And so we have to break down like that transactional thing. And I think that's a lot of American parenting.
That's interesting.
Has created that. Well, if you do this, then you can have this. I mean, I bribed someone to try out for baseball. I'll admit it.
Yeah.
What about looking for some adult softball leagues in your area?
Honestly, live my own life is what you're saying. And you're exactly right. And turns out my kid's third grade teacher plays the softball leagues all summer and is like, so you want to play? I'm like, I've been solicited at least 5 times in my life to play in a softball league.
Yeah, you should do it. Why don't you?
I have a sign on my forehead that says, she's got a wicked fast. Anyway,
you should do
it. The point is this, like we can do that because I think it's crucial, especially winter is coming. I think everyone might be aware of this, and other November events might be happening. And like, how are we comforting ourselves? And can we shift that a little bit to self-care? So it's still comfort, but that it actually cares for us. Because if we could take the transaction out of that statement you just made, Scott, and quiet that voice down, and then you saw it as self-care, it's not about deserving or not. It's about treating yourself well. Yeah. Then, I mean, it's a different story, isn't it? Yeah. Then you don't have to do it longer. Then it's good for you. You do the amount that feels good, and then you stop.
Yeah.
Like that's the thing about this sort of starvation mode that, whether it comes to food or other things, it means our whole system is like never starve. So then it's going to use all its power to get you to crave everything and then never stop.
Right.
So then we get in these cycles and they're terrible and we feel crappy. So then on top, we're not just an animal doing that. We're a human that then goes, I'm a worthless piece of crap because of this.
Right.
So we have all these layers, and we've got to just stop all of the layering and figure out, like at the core, we're valuable and we deserve to have good things that make us feel good and healthy and safe. And when we can do that and treat ourselves to those things, there's a lot less of the need to binge, not a lot less of the need to run away and escape. And, because your insides are trusting you to take care of it.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the thing.
Well, by the way, I just shared a photo of you playing baseball when you were younger on the stream. So just to,
Thanks for doing that.
Yeah, no problem. It's a good one. It looks like you're about to steal a base or do something like that. I'll give Brian.
Is my hat like 20 feet off my head? I feel like there was like a whole era where the hat, and I have a normal size head, but just.
I don't. How did you get the normal size head? Mine's gigantic.
My whole family has gigantic heads.
No, you have a helmet on, and it looks like what you're doing is like maybe you were headed home.
Oh yeah, that's a good one. You can share that one.
Yeah, I should. It looks like high school or junior high or something. I don't know.
Yeah, that's high school.
Yeah. Anyway, so just
look at me. I'm going to steal home base.
You do look like you're going to steal home base.
I know. I'm stopping myself. I was about to.
Yeah. Well, this
Thanks
is good
for
stuff.
making that public.
Yeah, no problem. I like to publicly put things out there with my family that I don't agree to. Best of luck to not only this parent, but anyone who this may resonate with. And that book, again, just for those looking for it, is Intuitive Eating. You can find it on Amazon. Lots of used versions of it as well if you're trying to save money. They're like $3, $4. I've got one that's from a library, or was part of a library collection that is now only $6. So it's coming to me next week. So anyway,
it's gonna be covered with COVID.
Well, see, that'll be the fun, right? Is me hosing that thing down and see what I can do. But 17, man. It's a hard time to be alive, but I think Wendy's got some good ideas. So let us know how that goes. Wendy, have a fantastic week. People, check out realsteps.org. If all of that made no sense and you want to see what that's about, go check it out, realsteps.org.
And some November are not quite ready to go yet, but just go check it out, and you can be put on an email list, and we'll let you know when.
Yeah, and go just bookmark that thing and get in there.
Yeah.
Thanks, Wendy. We'll see you next week. Bye now.
Thanks, guys. Bye.
See ya.
Bye now. I love that she's sad that he won't play baseball. I just freaked
Yeah,
out.
I love that he's into music. That's like,
yeah,
cool.
No doubt.
All right,
music and art. He loves to draw and he loves music. She's basically raising me, and I love it. I love it because I was the same way. I was his height. I was in great shape. I was a muscly kid, but thin and lean. Baseball, basketball, all that stuff could have been on the table, but I was like, no, man, I just want to draw. and I'm sure this is how my parents felt. I love it.
Right. Oh, look, there's the photo he put in our Discord too. Cool.
Sidian, you're a Sidian's cranky. You notice that?
Of course.
How cranky he is?
Yeah.
He leaves for a bunch of time and says, I just went to go binge eat. Are they still going?
He's being sarcastic because, binge eat, something comfortable. Like he's playing off of the topic.
I think he's cranky.
Or he's just cranky.
He might just be cranky.
Could be both.
He could be both. Why not both?
Fan
service! Fan service time. We're going to give some fan service out to Craig, who sent in an email that said, we would like Scott Johnson. Oh, he wants me to be on a show. Oh, I didn't even read this in detail. Here's what it says.
He actually says, would like to Scott Johnson on our show.
Yeah, that's weird.
The subject line.
Would like to, and then even the body. Would like to Scott Johnson on our show, Radiant Creators. Let's rock it. Check us out here.
Looks like a form letter.
It might be. RadiantCreators.com/about. Have listened to The Instance for years, recently getting back into the WoW game, and we're happy to find The Instance still rocking along. You are doing so much content and would love to chat with you about your shows and art and what it's like to be a creator and that journey. You've inspired, you have been very inspiring and someone that any content creator can learn a crap ton from. Craig and Aaron. Check out Aaron's check out Aaron's about page. Anyway, the page is radiantcreators.com, and sure, it's still a thing I can fan service even if I'm never on there, and I may be one day. I don't know. I might be. I don't do a lot of guest stuff these days because I'm just too damn busy, but I might.
You are a creator, and you are often radiant.
Yeah, I'm very super radiant. Radiant as hell, man. Look at this radiant. Anyway, that's radiantcreators.com. All right, that's going to do it for the show. A reminder that tomorrow at about 2:30, so an hour earlier than the normal PM time slot, we're doing an open for everybody, so there's no locked in, Patreon thing happening here. We're doing a play date tomorrow. And it's going to be fun. So please come play some games with us and hang out, okay?
But we always throw a few answers and a few, extra likes to our patrons. So,
for sure. Yeah.
Their drawings get a few extra thumbs up from us. They're during Trivia Murder Party, I'll DM them or PM private message some answers to them. They get special treatment
for sure. We love them.
Yeah.
I'm smelling this vagina candle. Give me just 1 second.
Treadnexo starts about an hour before normal PM time. Was that Gwyneth Paltrow you were just?
Yeah, it was Gwyneth Paltrow's vagina, right here.
Excellent.
Yeah, I actually really like the smell of this thing. It seems like I haven't lit it yet. It's yet to be lit. It just sort of sits here. I'm going to light it today. That's what's happening.
Maybe it smells horrendous when you light it. Maybe it smells good when it's unlit and then you light it. It's like, oh my God, that's...
Yeah, I'm going to do that on Monday. I'll report back on how that thing smells lit, and we'll let you guys know about that. In the meantime, thank you for all your support at our Patreon. That's how we keep the show running, so head on over and help us out. Patreon.com/TMS. And as always, for everything else you're looking for, it's over at frogpants.com/TMS. Okay. Let's do, what do we have left? Oh, we have a song. Let's do a song. You have a
song? Yeah. All right. By the way, big thanks to Dreadnex, who is putting together or has put together a Spotify playlist of all the Indie in the Middle songs that we played on the show this year. So if you want to go back and listen to those.
That's awesome.
Yeah, what we should do is probably make a tiny.cc TMS Spotify or something like that.
We could totally do that.
Spotify TMS, just so there's not two S's right next to each other.
Yeah, either that or I can just put... Well, for sure, I'll put the link in the page.
Put a link to it, on the page. Yeah,
we'll just make it so they go one place and get everything. That works.
Super cool. Yep. Super cool.
Yep.
All right. Let's go to Nate W from Maine, who requested. He says, "Hey, Scab and Booger.
Wow.
My wife Stephanie and I are joyfully celebrating our first quarter year married on October 1st. She played this song for me the first day she told me she loved me. I'm going to introduce her to the podcast. Oh, sorry. And I thought it would be cute to have this show up. A note to Stephanie. You're an amazing mom, stepmom, wife, and friend. Here's to forever and 8 days. Love, Nate." Sure, there's a story behind that. 3 months down, forever to go. Or forever to go, he wrote. Love the show, though. Maybe that's it. 3 months down, forever to go. Love the show, though. And that's probably